Crafters, good to have you back with us. Tom Creek here with Creek Bank Creations. Tonight, man, are we going to have a blast. Julie is going to make two cards with the, where's it at? It's the mini milk carton die, okay? And this one, isn't it awesome? Check that, looks like a gumball machine. Isn't that cool? That's a little, actually, those aren't gumballs, those are peanut M&Ms. She's gonna do that one. And then here's another version that she did, a little sunshine egg carton or milk carton. So that's what we're going to do tonight. And we're going to incorporate them in what we've been doing with the K-Cup holder and the mini tote. So my name is Tom Creek. Julie Creek is our instructor tonight. We own Creek Bank Creations and we're glad to have you here. Creek Bank Creations, we have our own line of dies, rubber stamps, and accessories for card making, scrap booking, and paper crafting. So we're glad to have you all here. Be sure to sign in and tell us where you're from. Hit subscribe when you get on the YouTube page. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up there. And share it with your friends. I'm still trying to hit 90 is our target audience, so I can give a third gift away. But Julie made homemade jam and canned it last Friday. We told you about it on Thursday that she was getting ready to do that. And we're going to give, where's that at? Oh, got one right here. Got a little sampler version. We're going to give one away tonight. If you like homemade jam, homemade strawberry jam with Midwestern strawberries. Tell you what, sweeter than sweet. They're sweet. Okay, sweeter than sweet. And I'm going to give away an apron tonight. I'm going to give away a Creek Bank Creations apron. And I'll give a second apron away if we hit 90. So be sure to share with all your friends so we can get that 90 number. Now let's talk about the mini tote special. Okay, we still have a lot of bundle specials on the line online from past videos we've done. Remember, those bundle specials, crafters, you're going to save 30% on those bundle specials. And any orders over $50 is free freight. Now, tonight's special is the mini tote bundle. And you get the K-Cup holder, which Julie did on Thursday. You get the mini milk carton die, and you get the mini tote die. Now, those are huge dies, okay? Regular retail value is $89.97, 3 cents away from 90 bucks. You're going to get them for $62.99, and you're going to get free freight. So you're going to save 27 bucks on the dies, plus you're going to save another 8 bucks on the freight. So you're looking at, what is that? $36 savings coming at you right here. Just go ahead and order those. We'll take care of those. Also, we've extended the 20% discount on everything on our website. Use the code SUNSHINE, and you'll get 20% off of everything, except for specially priced items like the Vagabond 2 going for $134.99 with free freight on that too. So, without any further ado, Mrs. Creek, are you ready to rock and roll?
Ready, baby.
She's ready. Here she comes. Ladies, I'll be coming back at you soon to give away those free prizes tonight. So, look forward to talking to you.
We need the light on the other side.
Okay.
Hello, crafters. How is everybody doing? Let me refresh this screen. There we go. So, Tuesday night, we are finishing up our mini milk carton project that we started on Thursday. And I have added some really nice images of all the milk carton stuff you can do on our Pinterest page. So if you go to Pinterest, you can look us up and you can see the projects that I have completed. And I have 2 girls that do design work for us, Diane Wilcox from New York and Diane Morris from Ohio. And their work is there too. Diane is Diane Wilcox from New York. Made an amazing milk carton today that I did put on the Pinterest page that is mind-boggling. So she cut a hole in the side and hung butterflies in it, and it really is something to see. So you have to go check out the Pinterest page.
Okay.
So
okay. I had a question.
Tom has a question.
All right. Received my order today. Quick question. Is there an easy way to get the liner off the clear foam tape? And there's not an easy way. You just have to pick it with your...
So it's sometimes that liner is difficult to get off and you just need to just like pull on it. Sometimes I'll put a little bit of undo on it just to get it started peeling off and then pull real hard and get it off. If you can't get the liner off of the tape, just leave it on and then just unroll the roll. So sometimes what I'll do is just trim it. Hey, Tom, can I get you to turn the volume off?
I'm sorry, honey.
Trim it around the edge so it's not hanging off the edge and driving you nuts. And then when you start unrolling it, you can peel it off that way, or you can just keep pulling it off.
She's talking about the liner,
the clear liner
on the side, not on...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, this liner that's stuck right here is what you're talking about. So if you can't get it off, just unroll your tape, and as you go, you can just still unroll it and trim it off. It is super sticky, and the liner is annoying sometimes. I'm with you on that. So, but it's worth the struggle to get there. So I want to remind you about some scripture tonight. Do you feel like we're in a storm? Tom, do you feel like we're in a storm?
The storm is raging, baby. The storm is raging.
The storm is raging. And just about the time that you thought the storm was over, there's more wind. So I think it's safe to say, do you feel, let's do it. Let's put it in the chat. Do you feel like you're in a storm? Yes or no? Heather says yes. If do you feel like you're in a storm? Like, it seems like if it's not one thing, it's another. So I just wanted to remind you tonight about Matthew 14, 22 and 22 through 33. See, Angie's in a storm. Jennifer's in a storm. Yes, we're in a storm. So the world is going nuts. It is. We are in a storm. So I want to remind you about, let's get some hope, shall we? Because we are in a storm. Matthew 14, 22 through 33 talks about Jesus preaching on the side of the mountainside. And when he's done, he goes to pray. And in the night, when he was there alone, he sees a boat that is a considerable distance from land. I don't know if you've ever had a boat or been on a boat that's a considerable distance from land and a storm blow up, but I have been, and Tom has been.
Yeah.
And it's frightening. Yeah, like you're on the lake, you're in the middle of the lake, you're a long way from the dock, a long way from help, and you see across the lake this gray mass moving towards you, and you are trying to get the anchor in, get everybody in the boat. How fast can you get to the dock? And then as you're going, you know darn good and well, you're not going to get there in time. Sheer panic. Wind pelting you, waves pelting you,
over the bow.
Waves coming over the boat. It is a scary thing. So this is what this is saying, that the boat was a distance from land. That's verse 24.
In a storm.
Buffeted by the waves because of the wind. And there is nothing you can do to stop this when it happens.
And they didn't have a 150 horsepower motor to get them out.
They did not have.
They were rowing
they
those
were
boats.
Rowing. So Jesus walks out to them, and Peter is in the boat, and Peter, who loved Jesus, is freaking out. And he said, Jesus, if that's you, will you call out to me? And Jesus calls out to him, and Peter walks on the water out to Jesus, but then he gets freaked out. And I think it's safe to say in this journey that we're on right now that we've all probably at some point had some faith and stepped out of the boat and felt like, okay, I got Jesus, it's going to be okay. And then all of a sudden you look at everything around you and go, oh, I'm going under. And here's what Tom and I have been holding on to this week. So Peter walks on the water a little ways, and then he gets scared and starts sinking. And Jesus reaches out his hand and catches him. And the next thing he does is he climbs in the boat. The Bible says in verse 32, he climbed in the boat and the wind died down. And those in the boat worshiped him, saying, "You truly are the Son of God." So we have been praying in our house. Jesus, we need you in the boat. And this country needs an answer. And that answer is not going to come from a political party. It's not going to come from a leader. It's not going to come from a governor. It comes from the heart. So we need Jesus in the boat to bring us answers and peace and to calm this storm. So when Tom and I have had frustrations over the last few days, we have stopped and said, Jesus, we need you in the boat, because when you're in the boat, the storm stops. So that is what we pray for you tonight, that you will find Jesus in the boat so that you can have peace in the middle of the storm. So hang on, we're still on a journey together and on this little trip that we're taking, and we can be rest assured that we are safe if Jesus is in the boat. So that's my encouragement for you tonight, and hang on to hope. That is what I'm saying. If you start thinking about all the negative, it's not a good place to be in. So if you're getting exposure to negative things, social media, TV, news, kind of have to turn it off. I love news. Like I love news. I like listening to news all the time. I haven't had the news on for 3 weeks, Tom? Like somebody told me something.
I wish you hadn't had.
No, somebody told me something the other day, and they're like, "You didn't know that?" I'm like, "No, because I'm turning it off. There's only so much you can take." So that's my encouragement to you. So we're going to talk about the little mini milk carton tonight, and I'm going to show you the basic construction of how to make the mini milk carton. We're going to go over that first, and then we're going to talk about how you can cut a window in the milk carton and do this. Did you actually take this apart?
Did I take? No. Am I supposed to take it apart?
This is a secret.
Whoa.
So this is the mini milk carton, and I'm going to show you how to do this so that you can actually take this apart.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
And then like put a little gift in there. This, I love these little mini starbursts because they're, I'm into yellow right now. Everything's sunshiny and yellow. So they fit in here perfectly. And I am going to show you how to do that. So you don't have to put the little sunshine thing on the top, but that's a little cool thing that you could put you could put a little votive in there or whatever, and then have this little gift. I was even thinking that you could like make a little put a little ornament in there and hang it on the Christmas tree. So I have more ideas than I have time for. So I didn't get that done. But that's what
What is the size of the milk carton?
We are doing.
Heather Meyer.
The size of the finished
Milk carton.
Finished?
Well, yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, it is 2 1/4 inches wide and 4 inches tall, just shy of 4 inches tall. And this die is rather long. Like the actual die is 9 1/2 inches long. So you do need the extended cutting platform for it. Tom, I'm looking for the extended cutting platform set up. What in the world did I do with it? Side. So you do need the extended cutting platform for all of these dies. You should have the extended cutting platform. Have come. Go and look in the die cut room on that counter in there. You should have an extended cutting platform that came with your machine if you have a Sizzix machine, and I'm referring to the Big Shot or the Vagabond. But you also need extended cutting plates. So if you don't have extended cutting plates, we do have those products on our website and on sale for 20%
off with the code Sunshine.
Okay, I don't need all that. This, okay? So I can't remember if I'm actually die cutting tonight or not. But in the event I do, I got it. Any questions
India,
about
what did you do?
anything? Put the ornament as a gift in the milk carton. Yes, that was what I was thinking, and I thought, how cool would it be, like for the grandkids to do those all up and hang them on the tree, and then they could knock the tree over. That's how it works at our house. Okay, so I think we're ready to turn the camera down and get going tonight. I did want to talk about this for just a minute. I know Tom already showed you this, but I don't know if you can tell how cute this is. But I got these at Meijer, and they're in the canning department, and I just want to show you this for all of you. This has got this is not food grade canning. So if you're a canner person or interested in canning, this is not food grade because there is no seal inside the jar. Ball has made these for crafting, so I sealed it with the paraffin wax. And if you are the lucky winner of this tonight, when you're ready to use this, you'll want to pop the paraffin out, like just push on one side and the other side will pop up and pull it out, and then you can use it, and you'll then want to keep it in the fridge. But this is the cutest thing ever. This thing was like, it's like 2 by 3.5, little bitty. So very, very fun.
It's all right.
Yes. Yeah, Vonda, when my daughter-in-law actually found these, and she thought we could can with them. And I'm like, oh no, we can't can that because it doesn't have the seal, but we can do old school like my mom used to do. My mom used to make blackberry jam, and my mom always used wax. So that was kind of cool. Went to the store, showed her where the wax was, and we did the wax thing. So that is going to be an amazing little treat for someone. Okay, we're gonna turn the camera down and get going. The first thing we're gonna do is just the basic milk carton, and it's super easy, and I'm gonna have some fun tonight. Okay, so hang on, we're turning the camera down.
We're going down.
The canning thing was just like a little bonus that you didn't ask for. Okay, so we got our milk carton there. Oh, and I have a huge lag. I cannot see what I'm doing here.
I have a lag too.
Massive lag.
The jar.
Yeah, so ladies, I have a massive lag here, so I have no idea what you're looking at.
I'll just refresh my screen so I can
Okay.
get that. Are they responding?
For some reason, I'm not
I
getting.
think you're tilted just a little bit to the. There you go.
Okay, do you see anything from Di? Either of the
Looks good.
dies?
Angie P said it looks
Okay, good. Angie, thank you for doing that. For some
good.
reason.
Jane Beasley made jam with rhubarb. That
Oh,
sounds good.
yeah. Is it strawberry rhubarb?
Strawberry rhubarb jam?
Is that what she means?
I think she just.
There we go. I got a picture. Yay. Okay, good. Oh, guys, you are amazing. I just want to tell you how much love getting together with you guys and hanging out. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our die, and we're going to die cut. And since we're doing the yellow thing, this one we've die cut yellow. Now, if you're familiar with how I operate, whenever I have a project that I am going to be repeating, and I've already got measurements done on it, then I make a jig, and I always make the jig on orange cardstock so that it's easily found.
Just rhubarb, by the way.
Just rhubarb jam. Never heard of that. That
sounds good, though.
sounds amazing. So here's my jig. So what I do is I cut the jig on orange cardstock, and then I go back and I mark the jig, and I mark the important things on the jig. So what I have here are dark lines on the 2 tabs. Now, when you die cut this, you're going to have, these are tabs right here, and that's how you're going to connect. So I want tape right there and tape right there. So my big fat line is my tape line, and I have a tape line down here. Okay. Now I've made a note to myself when I get ready to fold these in that I'm folding in those 2 flaps. This flap and this flap are getting folded in first. So I'm just going to mark that so that I know those 2 flaps, when I get to the bottom, are going to be folded in first. I've made a note to myself that pattern paper is going on this side of the carton, and the 2 top pieces are 1 inches by 2 inches. So that will be the 2 top pieces up here. 1 inch by 2 inch. And then the papers that go on the panels, these papers are 2 by 2.25. And I'm going to need a 2-inch square for the bottom. So I'm going to take my tape and let's add tape to our project. And I am working with our super tacky tape. This is the 1/4 inch. And we do have a bundle for tape. If you're doing bundles and you want to try to bump up to that free freight at $50, you can throw in the super tacky tape bundle and you get 2 rolls of 1/2 inch and 2 1/4 inch for $13. Okay, so I've already cut my pieces here. And what I like to do is put those on the box before I put the whole box together. So I'm going to use the Art Institute for that. And we did get adhesive in stock. I think it came Saturday. And I'm going to fold this before I glue. I'm going to stop and fold, train folds. So we did get Art Institute in stock. We have the regular bottle like I have here. We have the refill. We have the metal stainless steel
Do you
tip.
have the large bottles online?
They are, yes. So those are all in stock now. So if you need adhesive,
It's 20% off. Did you hear?
It's 20% off. Use the
code.
sunshine code. So I'm going to train the folds here before I get going too much. And you want to be sure to get those little V folds at the top really well. So just go through and train all those folds. Back and forth.
Makes a lot of noise with that fold.
I am sorry.
They're just a fold
Okay.
away.
So the other thing is, this is whenever I make these containers, I really like to use some pretty decent weight paper, which is why it's making so much noise. So I have 65 pound cardstock that I'm using as the base. Just gives it a little bit more stability. So those 2 pieces right there are 1 by 2. And you can see how if you have the jig, you know exactly what you're lining up and what you're doing. Really helpful. So let's put the pieces on that are the side. That might be my, I don't think that's the right one. Yep, there's my panel. 2 by 2.5. And we're gonna put those on. I like to use the liquid glue here because you can get it out on the edges and get the edges to adhere really well. So, have any of you had changes over the weekend? Open states? Anybody open that was closed? How's Pennsylvania doing, or New York? Diane, is New York, did they make any changes over the weekend? In the great state of New York, we have 2 shows in New York.
I think the main change was the Target we burned down.
Was that in New York?
I'm not sure.
Well, that is a change, but that was not the change.
Heather said they'd gone to phase 2. PA will go green on Friday. Churches will open and some other things.
Okay, well,
Let's
that's,
go green.
ask her.
Let's go green.
Can large groups meet?
Christine's in stage 3. Michigan is starting to open. Pennsylvania is still in red for Bucks County. Williamsport, PA is going green on Friday.
Oh, and that's the wrong, I got the wrong one there. Don't look at that. That one's not cut right. There we go. Oh. So my Pennsylvania, we have a show in Pennsylvania. Do you know what month that is, Tom?
I can tell you real quick.
Heirloom show in Allentown. Does anyone
I think it's isn't it in August?
think that show's going to happen? Or the New York show? When is it?
They've all been moved around.
Yeah, I tell you, ladies, everything's been moved around. We go to Yellow on Friday.
Allentown is in July, middle of July.
Allentown is in the middle of July.
The 18th and 19th.
Kathy said she got to go to church on Sunday with social distancing. Our church has been open with social distancing for, I think, 3 weeks. Okay, we have our panels on the outside. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to flip our jig over and make sure, do we have anything on the other side that needs to be done? And the answer is no. So we're going to flip that back over, and we are going to flip the whole thing over, and we're going to fold in the panel that has the adhesive, the little tabs. We're going to fold that in, take off our tape liner, and then fold the other side in. And you want to make sure when you do this, watch your fold lines that are coming across the bottom and make sure that you have them square. So that line, the fold line that runs across right here, you want to make sure it's nice and straight, and that'll give you a very nice and straight carton. Now you made your box. We're going to turn it over. Remember, we made those two flaps with the ones and the V's to let us know those are going in first, and then we're going to fold that in and fold that in. So that's why we had that one piece of tape. So we're going to pull that off, and I am going to just throw in, since I have my liquid glue out, I'm going to throw in a little liquid here just to help stabilize everything. There we go. So we're going to close that up. We're going to turn that whole thing over, and I love to take my bottle and just push that down and make sure everything's secure. If I see flaps sticking up down in there, I'll take my liquid and shoot a little liquid down in there. But now we have created our little box for our mini tote. We can push those flaps in, and you got to be careful when you start, because you want to make sure you get that full. Did you know that you are having this YouTube live tonight with the Careful Papa?
The Careful Papa. That's
The
me.
Careful Papa is in the room.
That's me.
He tried to tell me that he was the Careful Papa. There we go. There's our box. Okay. So what we want to do is just kind of work that one spout that we want to open out, in and out. Okay. And get it going. Really nice. Training that fold. Now, I discovered these little Velcro dots, and there is a link to, if you buy these on Amazon, I have a link on our blog, and it is, Tom, what's the blog?
The blog is www.creationsblogspot.com.
Can you type it in the chat for me?
Right?
On the blog, yes. Every time we shoot a YouTube video, there is a blog post. I just discovered these little Velcro dots. They are super small and very clear, and they're 3/8 of an inch. So if you buy through our link that we provide, we do get a little bit of a kickback.
That's www.creekbankcreations.blogspot.com.
You got it, baby. He's coming along so good. Ready for Christmas in July. Loretta, that's a great idea. Okay, so I've got my little dots on there on both sides, and that is awesome because it holds that shut for us. And then we have the ability to add a treat to the inside, and we can open and close it. So this is our sample that we made, and you can see we have the delicious chocolate inside.
Delicious.
So that is how we complete basic construction. That was pretty easy, wasn't it? So we will work on, I have the little Velcro dots on order, putting those on the website, because that is a super fun little thing to have around in your card stash.
Is this time to give us something
So,
away now?
Tom, are you ready to go? We have 58 people watching. Are you ready to give something away?
Yes, that's going to
Okay.
get 60.
All right.
Yeah, this is about stroke. Can I just ask it from here while you're doing it?
Yes.
Okay, crafters. You know, Julie was in the kitchen with her daughter-in-law.
Julie's in the
making
kitchen with
strawberry
Joel.
jam and canning it last
Julie's
Friday.
in the kitchen, you know.
Ho, ho, ho. How many pints of strawberry jam did Mrs. Creek make last Friday? How many pints? The winner gets a jar of
How many
strawberry
pints of strawberry jam? Let me just tell you, we made more than what I planned on, because I didn't plan very well. Oh, we picked a lot of berries. They're guessing and guessing and guessing. There we go. Okay, so we're going to work on making our milk carton with the window in it. And this is just a fun little project. I'm going to show you how I did it, but you could drop in a circle and you could do one window. You don't have to do all the windows. You could use a different shape, but I'll just show you how I did it. Super fun. 65. Ladies, if I did 65, I would not be sane. I almost wasn't sane with what I did. And it wasn't 65. Okay, so while you're guessing, I'm going to keep talking. Is that okay?
Keep talking, baby.
Okay. All right, so I've die cut my pattern just like I did before, and I'm going to add, I'm not going to add tape this time around. This calls for me to add tape, but I'm not going to do that because my window is going to end up getting in the way of my tab over here. So because my die...
Hannah D is the winner.
Hannah...
No, hold it.
Uh-oh.
No. Oh, hang on. Yes, Hannah D.
Hannah D.
Hold on. Gosh, this is going so quick. All right, stop. All right, hang on here. I'm looking.
Okay, Tom's looking. So I'm going to train the folds. Let's train our folds.
Hannah D was the first one to say 28 pints.
28.
There was somebody else that guessed 28, but not before. Debbie Miser guessed just almost too late. She was too late.
Just almost, Debbie
was real close.
Debbie, you were so close.
But Hannah D needs to email us at creekbc@gmail.com with her address, and we'll send her a jar of homemade strawberry jam. So Hannah D.
Oh yeah. So I did 21 pints. I'm sorry, pints.
28. Dear.
28.
Yes.
Thank you. And my daughter-in-law did 28. So we actually I calculated the number of berries that we needed incorrectly, and we had a ton of berries, so we canned extra. I gave some to my mom. I gave some to my friend. So it was crazy. Okay, so I've got my piece here, and what I am doing is I'm taking my square die, and you can just use a die set that you have. This is the die that worked for me, but you can look at dies that you already have. This is our square die that we have, and it is the 4th largest die in the set. So you could do a square, you could do a rectangle, you could do whatever shape you want it. So what you want to do is look at your pattern of where your folds are and center that on your carton. Okay, and you want to center it top to bottom and side to side, and I just kind of eyeball it. Now remember, if you own the Victor ruler, you can read exactly that's 7/16 and know if you're really even on both sides. So love the ruler because it'll tell you that's 3/16 right there, and I'm 3/16 right there. It'll tell you 3/16, 5/8, 7/8. So this is one of those products that you can buy on Amazon, and we do have a link on our website for this. It's under Amazon links. So once I have it on there, I'm going to tape it in place, top and bottom. Okay. And then I'm going to take my ruler, and right along that line, I have my die sitting. I'm going to take my pencil and just mark over here on. So I'm in the middle section here, and over here, I'm just going to place a line, and that's going to be for alignment. Now I'm going to take my die cut project, and I'm going to fold that flap back, and then I'm going to die cut. So what I'm going to be able to do is cut 2 passes at once. Okay, so I just cut the window. We're gonna take our undo, and undo is a liquid that suspends adhesion with tape. So I'm gonna put my undo on there
It suspends the adhesion.
and pull that off, and that'll take out the first two panels for me. So I just cut the first two windows, and then we're gonna come over here and we're gonna repeat that process. I am going to put fresh tape on this because when the tape has a bunch of undo on it, it tends to want to shift. So get some fresh tape. I usually put that tape on the side of my table and reuse it. So even though I've got fresh tape here, I can save these two pieces and use them later. So I've got my die on the center here. Straighten it up a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to take the end panel and I'm going to fold it back and I'm going to die cut. So that just allows you to not have to reposition 4 times. I suppose if you were a really brave soul, you could try to cut all 4 at once. I would be afraid that if you tried to fold that up and do it into 4s, that you would end up with that 4th panel not actually die cutting. We wouldn't want that. Okay, let's pull that out. And we've just created all of our windows. Then we're going to take some thin acetate and we're going to cut that 2 1/8 by 2 1/8 for my size square.
Mary Beth just asked me,
Yes.
has Facebook given any idea how long it will take for them to fix the problem of letting her and other people become members of the Creekbank Creations Creativity?
I am asking Facebook multiple times a day to resolve that problem, and I am not getting any answer. I did spent a bunch of time on that this week, and we are not the only group having that problem. This problem goes back to, I don't know, 6 or 7 years, and don't know what the issue is and don't know how to resolve it. So I'm filling out a request for help several times a day, and I do not know. I will post on the group when I get it figured out. I hope I do get it figured out. After I started researching and seeing other people complaining, I was like, oh my gosh, I hope we can get it figured out.
Maybe we ought to change the name to Tom Creek Creativity Corner.
Yeah. Who said that?
I'm
Did you say that?
said that.
Did you pay someone to say that?
I mean, maybe maybe it would restart it, and maybe that one would.
Yeah. Are you going to manage the social media account now?
Yeah, I'll be the manager.
Okay. So we have our holes cut,
Mary
and
Beth asked if there's anything that she can do to help.
you know, I guess you could try to report a problem yourself and say there's a little button on Facebook. There's a question mark where you can ask questions, and there's a little section there that says report a problem. And you could say that I requested to join a group and the person that owns my group is not getting my request. Maybe that will help. I don't know. I think the truth is that they're just plain old overrun with problems right now and with everything going on. But I will continue to nag. I am a firm believer. My husband taught me this quote. Are you ready for this one? The dog that barks the loudest gets the bone. So my sweet parents would have never taught me that. But Mr. Creekwood, okay, I have my acetate. I have cut it a little bit larger than my opening, and I'm going to glue that down with liquid glue.
Also, I taught you it's easier to ask forgiveness than
Well, we're not going to talk about that one. That one annoys me. Okay, we're going to set that in there. Put our windows in all the way around. So the milk carton that Diane made today, Diane Wilcox, she cut a window and then she hung butterflies in it, and it is amazing. So that image is on Pinterest. I added it to our Pinterest page. So when we're doing these projects,
Yeah, that was an awesome card, Diane. Good job.
it was not a card.
I mean, Excuse me.
Milk.
Diane, that was an awesome milk carton.
Milk carton.
Only problem is it wouldn't hold any milk. But it looked nice.
It was beautiful. So every time we do these projects, we're building the Pinterest page for you to have a resource to go back and look at. Okay, got our windows in there. Now, what we are going to do is fold that in. And we're going to fold this in. And we're going to adhere that, right? Like we did earlier. But what we've got is we've cut that hole out of the window. So we've cut that hole, which cuts into our tab a little bit. So we need to take that tab and trim it down and cut off about half of it.
All right, Jane Beasley asked,
Yes.
instead of 4 acetate parks, koi KF, you just cut one long piece?
You could, and you could score it.
Or excuse me, autocorrect. Instead of 4 panels.
Yes, Jane, you could cut one panel and you could score it. I feel your pain.
Jane, I was trying to figure out what code you were using there, so thanks for clarifying.
My son's name is Brye, Brye, and when you when it types Brian. It types all kinds of things. It's never correct. It's always auto-correcting. So, okay, the panel itself is 2 1/4 inches wide. So if you wanted to cut it all in one piece, you could cut it in one piece and then adhere it down and then score the acetate at 2 1/4 inches. And then it would fold better. Personally, I do not like to do it that way, because when you start folding it up, it gets, it doesn't fold as clean. So that's why I don't do it that way. But you could score the acetate, and you can score the acetate on the little a scoreboard. So we're going to put adhesive on the tab. We have a big tab, and then we have that little short tab. So that short tab, we want to get some adhesive right on there, and we're going to want to make sure we get that stuck down really well. So I'm going to take a little clear package and slide that underneath, and then that will enable me, fold it back a little bit, it will enable me to adhere that down without having glue leak out onto the background. So just have something there and line it up.
Debbie asked, why aren't you using tacky tape?
I am not using tacky tape because that little flap, when we cut it, ends up being less than 1/4 inch.
Mm-hmm.
Because I cut it off.
Debbie, did
So,
you get that?
If you have, I don't like the adhesive hanging off, and I want good clean adhesion. So that gives me that good clean adhesion, and I don't have to worry about the tape
Good clean adhesion.
hanging out. Okay. Now, Tom, did you, do we have clear acetate? Somebody asked me today about where we were at on
On
that.
its way.
Both. Do we have heavyweight in stock right now?
I know.
I've forgotten.
Well, hold on, let me
I've
double check.
forgotten.
Let me go. We did
So
have some heavy.
we have found a supplier for both
we've
the
got
lightweight
one.
and the heavyweight, and we do have it on the way. So he's looking to see if we have some heavyweight stuff in stock. So we're gonna just train our folds, get that to fold in, and we have that nice window that we created. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this on the bottom with the liquid glue, since we're doing liquid here. So when you're making a box like this, do you guys prefer liquid or do you use dry? So type in the chat for me, liquid or dry, and we'll see what everybody likes to use. Sometimes for me, I both, I might want to use both, so you could say both, depending on the circumstance. There's my top, okay? Debbie, yes, the stuff that you bought a month ago is the heavyweight stuff, and it's what we use to cut the spiral pop-up. Okay, so that's my box, and then you can go and decorate it. That top piece right there is going to be 1 inch by 2 inch, and we know that because we've added that measurement to the jig, 1 by 2. And then you can decorate it the way you want, do the same thing, and you've got that great looking window box.
Mr. Creek, we're presently out of acetate at this time.
Yes, we are out of the heavy weight. Depends on my mood, and yes, I hear you about that one. Glue stick or tape dry. Yeah. Hannah, do you find the glue stick has a strong enough tack for you? That's interesting. Okay, so that's our window box. Lots of fun to be had there. And we have 47 viewers. We're going to work on the two-part box. Two-part box right there. So I'm going to show you how to make the two-part box. Do you have another thing to give away?
I do.
Okay, so what's your question? So Tom has something else to give away tonight.
Okay. All right, crafters. You want to come over there?
No, I don't want to move the camera.
Okay, crafters. Can you hear me? Say yes.
Type in the chat. Thank you,
Hello?
Debbie. It's a fun project.
Hello.
Yeah. Diane's saying that if you use the liquid, it gives you a little more time to line things up. That's very true.
Okay, crafters. I was back.
Yes, they can hear you.
I was back in the garden last weekend.
Tom was in the garden.
Back in the garden. Okay.
Were you in the garden alone
No, I didn't go to the garden alone.
with the dew on the rose?
No,
What's that?
No.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. I planted or set out plants of 4 new things. Okay. Name 2 of the 4 things that I planted last weekend.
2 new things,
The
Tom.
winner gets a Creek Bank Creations apron.
Whoa,
So,
a jam and an apron tonight.
2 of the 4 items that I planted in the garden over the weekend. Name them. Do they hear me?
So you should be, they're guessing. You should be guessing 2
I
items.
don't even see any.
They're coming.
You
I see them.
Oh gee, then mine's not coming. I should have.
You want to come over here and look over
Yeah.
my shoulder?
Yeah.
Okra and basil. Barbara, do not be encouraging him about the okra. He has a problem with
I
okra.
love okra.
So I don't know what the 2 are. So we're going to have to take a minute here and figure out
Right.
who the winner. Okay, there's where it starts.
Okay.
Uh-huh. So Tom's looking here.
I'm looking. Keep going.
Okay, so while Tom's looking at my I have a tablet in front of me. He's looking at the tablet. Okay, so this is to make the 2-part mini milk carton. You're going to need 2 parts. You need a top and a bottom. So I have
Mary Beth Huddleston is the winner. That's right, Mary
What was
Beth.
the answer?
It was
Beans and lettuce. Yeah.
Okay, here are the 4. Mary Beth is the winner.
Mary Beth.
Mary Beth, you're going to look very stylish in that apron. So, I planted green beans, cauliflower, pumpkins, and yes, Mary Beth, lettuce. So beans and lettuce. Mary Beth, congratulations. Mary Beth, I believe I do have your address. In fact, I know I have your address.
Yeah.
So I'll get that apron out to you
Fun.
tomorrow.
Fun. Okay, so for this project, you're going to need to make 2 jigs. You need a jig for the top because we have 2 separate pieces. So we're going to cut 2 pieces. And in my, for my carton, I cut it out of 2 different colors. So we have 2 jigs. So we'll do the top piece first. So I have taken my jig and I have marked my jig that I am going to have 3 inches. I'm sorry, this is the bottom. I got to get the right, sorry, we'll get the right jig. This is my top jig. So I have 3.75 inches from this tab to the cut line. And I have it marked for the top of the 2-piece box. And I have the size of the measurement for the top. Okay, so what we're gonna do is put this in our paper cutter, however your trimmer is. And what I'm doing is I'm putting this outside line right here at 3.75. So put it in there and line it up. And I have 3.75 inches from the top of the carton to the cut line. And I'm gonna cut that bottom off and I'm gonna throw that away. And on my jig, I have this marked at the bottom. This is the trash. So I'm throwing that away. That's my top. let's cut a bottom. So we're cutting the bottom out of yellow, and we're looking at our bottom piece, and I have this marked for the bottom of the 2-piece box. This is the trash part. This is the part I'm keeping. So I want to put that paper in my paper cutter exactly the same way. And I'm going to open up my trimmer, and I'm going to put the tallest flap that I have, the tallest part of the die cut piece, on the 3-inch line. So I have 3 inches on this part, and this is the bottom, and I'm going to cut, and I'm going to throw that part away. So there's my bottom. Then we're going to construct our project. So we're going to train our folds and do like we did before and make our bottom. So this is just a fun little way to just amend the box. Put our tape on our flap. Both ways. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to pull that side in and line everything up. And there's our box. Pull in the 2 short tabs. Pushed in our tape first. And there we made the bottom. That was pretty easy. The top. Let's do the top. Now we can go back and refer to our original jig and know we have to have tape on those 2 pieces right there. We're going to tape them. So these little projects, these little dies are just great little things to have in your stash to make gifts for people, and just a fun little thing to offer. Okay, I should have trained my folds first. Let's train our folds. Stick my liner back on there. Train our folds before we get going. These folds up in the top are really important, so it's a really good idea to get those trained before you go.
Tom Woosley asked, did you say you use 65-pound paper or for the box, or 110 pounds?
I used 65 because I have a ton of it. If you have heavier, it would probably not be a bad idea to use the heavier stock. It'll make your box more secure. This is pattern paper right here, but it's actually 65-pound. It's pretty heavy stuff. So I just think it helps if you have something that has a little bit more sturdiness to it. Now we're going to tape them together. There's our top. Okay. Now I'm going to train that fold. This box, when you try to adhere it together, can be problematic. Like if you just try to put adhesive on the top, we're going to fold that together and we're going to adhere that. This one's permanently closed because we're using it to pull off the top. So it can be tricky to actually adhere. So I'm going to share with you a little tip tonight. Are you ready for a tip? Okay, so here's what you do. You go to try to put this together. So you try to put some super tacky tape on it and it just keeps pulling apart. And you try Art Institute and it just keeps pulling apart. And it's frustrating. So here's what you do. This is a little secret. This is Gorilla Super Glue in 5-gram bottle. I love this stuff. This is my secret weapon. I hide this in my craft room. I do not let the men have it.
What?
Yeah, see, he doesn't even know about it. Okay, here's why. Because men get into your super glue and ruin it. Just between the few of us. Okay, here's what's cool. This bottle has this lid that goes on and off. So you know how like really good glue, like super glue or whatever, it's a mess. This the cap comes off and you squeeze the 2 orange handles and you run a line of super glue right there, right along that top edge. And then you will get this to actually seal like a dream. So if you have things that you're working on and the adhesive is frustrating you, it is because you do not have the right kind of adhesive. So this is a little something that I have in my stash. I do not use it all the time. And you do have to be careful that you don't glue your fingers to it. But it holds, I'm going to push this down against the edge of the table. It holds like nobody's business. So highly recommend it. And I've pulled it off because of my fingers. Little dot in there again. So if you have, sometimes paper just wants to pull too much, and just getting a little dot of it in there will do the trick for you. And I'm trying to rush it so it's not. Okay, there we go. Now, I like to accent the top of this box, and that is not cooperating with me. Another dot.
Another dot.
Let it slide down in there. And we need to be more patient. There we go. I like to, when I do the tops of these boxes like this, add a piece of cardstock up there because I think it just adds a nice little punch. So we're going to take our cardstock and we're going to cut a piece 1 by 2.25 and score it in the middle. So I've already cut that piece for us. And then we're going to adhere it on to the top of the box. And I just think that adds a nice little touch. And we can go back and use our Institute glue. I'm going to put the lid on the Mr. Gorilla. So I love the Gorilla. You know, I used to think that you had, like, I had one kind of glue in my craft room, and I used that glue for everything. And then one day, I had a friend I was crafting with, and she opened up this box, and it was like adhesive of every shape and color. And I was like, what the heck? Laura, why you need that much adhesive? And she said, adhesive is like a tool. Sometimes you need a Phillips, and sometimes you need a flathead. So I have a whole collection of adhesives, and I have a box. I just keep all this kind of stuff.
Would you say that adhesive is kind of part of your paper addiction?
Definitely. And I do hide it.
The opiate of paper addiction.
I do hide it from you.
Glue.
You and my son. Because you mess with my.
It was your son that used to steal your scissors, if you recall.
Well, more than you do too. I did find my favorite putty knife out in your garage the other day with
that was my putty knife.
No, it was mine, and it had rust on it.
Are you claiming my tools now?
Okay, we're gonna decorate our box with the sun on the top.
Debbie asked, was that 1 by 2 1/4?
It was 1 by 2.25, that top piece.
Yes, Debbie.
Yes.
Yes, Debbie, that is correct.
Okay, now we're gonna put the sun on the top, and what we're going to do is we're gonna match the two sides together. So I cut 2 suns, and I have my super tacky tape on the back. And I cut one of them with the paper side face up. And the second one I cut with the tape side face up. Okay, so I cut into the tape side because we want these two pieces to match. So I'm going to pull out the outer liner. And we're going to stick that on. And the ones that stick up, I try to get like the heavier ones. And where I think I'm going to have a fold, just kind of fold that and stick that on. I just think this is a really cool way to add the sunshine. So we've got our sunshine going right there. And then we're going to flip it over on the other side. And we're going to add the sunshine right back on there. So it'll give it some stability. Now the trick is lining it back up again. Get my shapes all correct. There we go. So I'm going to lay it on there. And I want those pieces to match exactly. If I thought I needed to, I could put undo on it so I could position it. But there is the top of my sun. That's fun. Okay. So I did this in 2 colors. So we need the other color. There it is. So cut one tape side up, one tape side down. And you can do this with different kinds of shapes that you want to do. So we're going to put this one on, and we're going to do the exact same thing, overlay. And I did die cut this and like a light yellow and a bright yellow, 2 different colors, just to add some contrast to it. And this is the sun off of the weather die set. We're still working on our sunshine projects. My goal was to give you lots of projects and ways to use that sunshine product. So I think we certainly have covered a ton of different ways to use it so that you get good use out of it. I just think it's nice to really show you how well you can use something over and over to make different things and get a totally different. And we all need sunshine right now. There we go. Got our top on there, and now it's sturdy because we have the 2 layers. And then I'm just gonna go around and put some sun on the side of my box. Cut a few extras of those, and I'm gonna stick them on. And when I put these on, I put them right on the edge where that fold was, and then wrapped them around the side, just for dimension. If they start hanging off the bottom because they're too long, like I have right here, you just take your scissors and trim that off.
What you got? Diane is asking what's on the docket for Thursday. Have you reached a conclusion?
I have reached a conclusion. I had hoped to have that project finished today, and it did not happen. We're going to work on the little mini purse project that you make with the card pocket die. So it's a fun little project.
Cool.
That's what we're doing. We're going to do it sunshine style. So we'll be working with the card pocket die. And we're going to do it sunshine style, but I might just branch out. Okay, let's do a vote. Should we do it sunshine style or Christmas style? Can you guys put in the chat, and then Tom will tell me. And maybe we should do Christmas. I just didn't want to start Christmas too early, but I know some of you are already thinking about Christmas. So put in there, tell me in the chat, sunshine or Christmas.
I got 2 sunshines.
Okay.
I got a Christmas. I got another sunshine. I got another sunshine, a Christmas, another sunshine. I got another Christmas.
Tom thought y'all might be tired of sunshine.
Christmas.
Uh-oh. Are you counting, Tom?
It's about equal right
Uh-oh.
Sunshine is taking the lead.
Oh
again.
my gosh.
We're off the sunshine.
Sunshine
is coming around the bend. Angie wants both. Now they're getting both there.
And they're neck and neck.
Sunshine Christmas. Can you do both?
Can I do both? Who's asking that?
Well,
did you ask that?
Angie asked that.
Did Angie Peach ask that? Angie, I might just do that.
Heather said we just had snow in May. We like the warmth of sunshine.
Okay. All right. Tom thought y'all might be getting tired of sunshine. I guess that's not true. Okay. This is our stitched oval and our scallop, and they're made to go together. So
they want one of each.
One of each. Okay. No pressure, Julie. I'll get right on that.
Okay.
So I'm using the You Shine off of the You Are My Sunshine stamp set here. That's what I stamped. This is the oval. And then we're just going to adhere that to the front of our package. And I had already cut that with the super tacky tape on the back. So now we have a top to our bottle. And when you go to put the 2 together, you are going to need to crunch that bottom a little bit because they are actually the exact same size because we use the same die. So when you go to put the top on, I just want to show you the very first time, you're going to have to crunch it up a little bit to get it to fit. But once you get it going.
Do you know what Diane Makatura did this weekend?
I do not know what she did.
Made 31 flip-flop cards.
31 flip-flop. What does she do with them?
What did you do with them, Diane?
31 flip-flops. So, Diane, are you a member of our Creek Bank Creativity Group? Did you get to join?
I'm waiting to respond.
Yeah.
It's probably time delay.
So You do have to push it on it a little bit to get it to close, but once you get it going, you'll have a cute little box.
For a card swap.
Card swap, nice. I'd love to see what you did, and if you're a member of the group, you could post that on the group, and hopefully we should pray that Jesus get in the Facebook groups so that we need Jesus in the Facebook boat so our Facebook group works properly, because I have spent a lot of time and
Facebook wouldn't let her in.
been nothing but frustrated by that. So we need Jesus
Can I try to get
in the Facebook. It won't. Okay.
What if I have the magic touch?
It's not a matter of that. You don't understand because you don't understand social media. They have to request to join. Ladies, I'm going to pull the camera up so that you're not looking at the boxes here. So does anyone have questions about any of the boxes we worked on, or the mini tote?
Like Teresa said, Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah.
Or boat.
Yes, please. Take the Facebook boat, please. So what happens with the groups are that you guys send a request to join the group. And so, I get a notification that you've requested to join the group, and then I click on the link and I go, yes, you can join the group. And then when I click on the link, it says you have no notifications. So I go back out and I look at my requests and it says, Mary Beth is requested to join the group. And I click on the link and it says, you have no notifications. So Tom, if you're requested to join the group, I would get a request, and then when I go to hit accept, it wouldn't be there. It would be gone.
Be gone?
All gone. Yep.
Wow.
Yes. Okay. We are, that completes our session for tonight. Does anyone have questions?
Yeah, complete our session.
Can you go check and make sure?
Yes. I'm looking for questions. Fielding questions.
Yes, I would love to see what you did and share that. And if you can email it to me, creekbc@gmail.com, and then I can post it. And I'm so glad y'all are not tired of the sunshine, because I'm not tired of it either.
Okay. All right. Hannah D said you could keep the top of the box that you threw away and use that in place of the top you made. It would make the box have a flat top instead of a milk carton shape, but it would still be cute.
So you're saying put the part I threw away back on the other piece? Is that what she's saying, Tom?
She's saying you can keep the top of the box that you threw away and use that in place of the top you made. It would make the box have a flat top instead of
I'm going to try it.
Shape.
Who's suggesting this idea?
Hannah D.
See, Hannah.
Who won the jam, by the way?
She's on a roll. We'll try it. I'm going to try it. I've got my top. This is the bottom of the top.
The bottom of the top.
And it may be too short.
That sounds like baseball. It's the bottom of the top.
It's the bottom of the top. So, but we're going to try it. See, that's the fun thing about being around some awesome creative people, is that you get all these great ideas. Okay.
This is like actually being there, Mrs. Creek.
Almost. Okay. So I'm gluing it together.
She's gluing it together.
It's awfully skinny. I don't know if it's going to work. I mean, like this, it's very small.
You know what you could put? You could put like little chips or something in there to nibble off of.
Little chips to nibble. OMG. Guys.
Look at that. Mary Beth.
She's rocking it. Oh my gosh.
Good idea, Hannah D.
Now, the one.
Hannah D, I hope you enjoy that jam. This is a great idea.
She earned it. The one side, you do have to collapse it in order to get it to shut. But oh my goodness, is that not super cute? Sweetness.
Put a little bow on there and make a little gift box.
Does anybody do tablescapes? Almost forgot what they were called.
Tablescapes?
Tablescapes, like where you decorate your table at Christmas.
Party favors?
Or for special occasions. I love to do tablescapes. Does anybody else? Tell me yes or no. Does anybody else do tablescapes?
Anybody do tablescapes out there?
So this would be
Christine Anderson does tablescapes.
Yes. How cool would it be to do a bunch of these and put bows on them and put them on the table for Christmas? Whose idea was that? Whose idea was that?
It was Hannah D.
Hannah's rocking it. So a cute little present. So that's your bonus feature for tonight. For
Boy, those Creek Bank Creations dies are real
That's
values.
just so
aren't they?
fun.
Those are
That's so
real
fun.
values.
That's what's great about hanging out with a bunch of creative people. So awesome. So we will, is it Tuesday? Is
Today is Tuesday. We're going to
You
be
know,
back Thursday.
when you're
You said the
self-employed, you kind of never know what day it is, except for when you go to shows. And then you know, like your life starts to get some semblance of normalcy because you're doing shows. But we haven't been doing shows. So it's like, I never know what day it is. It's Tuesday. We'll see you Thursday night.
Thursday.
Thank you so much. Here comes the man
Hey,
for coming and joining us. So we are going to make a really cool, fun project on Thursday. It's a little purse that has a little snap, and you open it up, and it has two little pockets to hold chocolates. Really fun.
Crafters, you were a lot of fun tonight. We had a good time with you.
We had good ideas.
We had
like,
good
creative
ideas. I tell you,
mojo.
the mojo, the juices were flowing. You know what I mean? The creative
Hey,
juices.
we were all
were
in the
flowing.
boat together.
We're in the boat. Rowing. Hey,
So
thanks for coming.
let's remember
We're remembering.
Matthew 14:33. Jesus calmed in the boat and the wind died down.
Just invite him in, crafters. Invite him in. He'll get in that boat with you.
All
Hey,
right.
Lord bless you and keep you. We can't wait to see you Tuesday. See you then.
Thanks so much.
Bye.